Moving on to Bahrain now, new pictures have emerged of a major mosque vandalized by Saudi-backed regime forces. Government troops vandalized Imam Sadr Mosque in the city of Diraz. The Saudi-backed forces have destroyed dozens of mosques and religious sites since opposition protests began in February. This is part of the Saudi-backed brutal crackdown on demonstrators who want a constitutional monarchy. Regime forces have abducted many people and arrested hundreds more, including journalists, opposition figures, as well as doctors and nurses. A human rights physician says the Bahraini regime systematically targets doctors. This because they have evidence of what he describes as the government's atrocities against protesters. Richard Sollom has called on the U.S. to take action against human rights violations in Bahrain.
All I can say is that the evidence, including forensic evidence, that we obtained during our investigation in April, paints a completely different story. It paints a story where the government authorities are systematically targeting these physicians. And why? Because these are the people who treated the protesters. These are the people who had evidence of the atrocities committed by the government. And it is our firm contention that the government is abducting these physicians because they themselves are evidence of their atrocities. It's time for the United States government to speak out forcefully and publicly in no uncertain terms about the egregious violations that are taking place in Bahrain. The U.S. government, the President and the Secretary of State need to name these human rights violations. There is torture going on, there is killing going on, and medical personnel are being specifically targeted. I think it behooves the government of the United States to talk out forcefully against these human rights violations, and only then do I believe that the Bahrain government may cease some of these egregious tactics.